back to Meet the YouTuber. In today's video, I'm highlighting a channel of somebody who lives a very unique lifestyle, but not in Alaska. And I'm going to allow them to tell their story in their own words. I hope you enjoy this video.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Buttercup. She's 10 years old, but acts like she's 2. And this is Ananda, our home for the last 8 years. We hope you enjoy this tiny peek into our live-aboard life on the west coast of British Columbia. I've been doing YouTube videos since March 2021. At the time I decided to start doing YouTube, I was anchored in Campbell River for the winter. So I think I decided in about September 2020, but I had to get, the right equipment and all that good stuff. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. So I believe my first YouTube video went out in March 2021. So I've been doing YouTube videos probably for just over a year. So my YouTube channel it's not about me, and I certainly hope it comes across that way, but it's not about me. It's about living a different lifestyle and just showing people, young people, older people, that you can do anything. Like, I didn't know how to do half the stuff I'm doing now, and I still have, oh my gosh, a lot to learn. But if you don't try, you're never gonna learn how to do things that you don't know how to do, is stating the obvious. But that's what my YouTube channel is about. Just about encouraging people to get out there and just do what makes them happy. I think when I first started out sailing by myself, I was scared, yeah, for sure, but the happiness I felt of the freedom of being out on the ocean by myself overpowered any fear that I had. I absolutely love sailing on my own. I love it. Being here, obviously I'm not sailing. Here I'm facing bears, potentially cougars, although cougars haven't been seen here in a long time, or ever. I don't know if they ever have. But another fear here is grizzlies. And I'm not gonna lie, I am afraid I'm gonna run into a grizzly. But I haven't. Grizzlies haven't been seen here since 2019. If I had any kind of fear being alone here, it would be that I would run into a grizzly in a place where I couldn't get into a building or get away. Yeah, just get away, I guess. So I'm very, very cautious. It's so unlikely that a grizzly is going to come around this property, but I'm not going to bank on that. Before I leave the cabin every morning, I always look out all the windows on every side of the cabin just to make sure, one, there's no black bears, because that's 99.9% possible there's going to be a black bear outside. It's happened probably 5 or 6 times already where I've looked out and there's been a black bear just sitting outside the cabin. And I won't go out. Like, if a black bear's outside, I'm not going outside. But if I am outside and I see a black bear coming onto the property, I don't know that I'd be afraid, but I know that he would also be afraid of me. It's likely he'd be afraid of me. So I have a really good chance of being able to get to a building to get inside. With a grizzly, I don't know. Grizzlies aren't afraid of you, and grizzlies eat people. So yeah, so if I was afraid of anything, it would be of running into a grizzly. You know, you can't let stuff like that stop you from living and doing what you gotta do. I love being here, and I guess that's just being cautious about that is just part of it. Otherwise, no, I'm not afraid. I really enjoy solitude. I enjoy sitting with my own thoughts. I enjoy doing all kinds of things. I'm never bored. I'm always busy doing something. Yeah, so no, I don't really get scared. Only scared of grizzlies, but that's about it. I am a freelance web designer, graphic artist. I have been in this line of work in some shape or another for 25 years, a really long time. Yeah, so I've got clients in London, I've got England, I've got clients in Idaho, I've got lots of clients in Vancouver, I have clients in Calgary. Some of my clients, I've never even met them before. They've found me online, or I got one client through my YouTube videos. That's what I do. Freelance web design, e-commerce, company branding, all that good stuff. And it's easy to do off-grid because all you need, well, you don't really need an internet connection as long as you have power, and you eventually are getting an internet connection. It's super easy to do. I think what I'm technically called is a digital nomad. That's what I do, and it's great. It's what I would be doing if I was living in downtown Vancouver in a high-rise, except I get to do it in such a beautiful place like this. I decided to sell my condo downtown Vancouver and buy a boat. A Catalina 28 Mark II. It's a 1996. Buttercup and I moved onto that boat in July 2013. And for the first 6 years, we lived off-grid in the summers, we lived off-grid probably for about 5 months, and then the rest of the year we lived at a dock in Vancouver. After 6 years, COVID hit, and I decided I didn't want to be at a dock anymore, so we moved 100% fully off-grid. So we went on anchor for about 2 years. We ended up coming further north, the furthest north I've ever been. We anchored, where did we anchor our first winter? Oh, my first winter I anchored in Vancouver, that's right, sorry. I anchored in False Creek for my first winter. And then the second winter, we anchored in Campbell River. One of my biggest dreams is to live off-grid, on land, with my own little piece of property, fully self-sufficient. It just is a big dream of mine to do that. So in 2014, Buttercup and I went north from Vancouver, and we went up the Sunshine Coast and ended up in a place called Toba Wilderness, just off the Price Channel there. He offered me the position to caretake his marine resort for a winter, which we did. So we were up there for 7 months, and I loved it. So last winter, while I was anchored in Campbell River, I decided to post an ad on Facebook to see if I could find another caretaking gig, but further north this way. And yes, and this is what happened. Buttercup and I have been at this property since October 2021, and it's now July 2022. So we've been here for a winter, a spring, a winter, fall, spring, and just the start of the summer. So yeah, so it looks like we'll be here for a little while longer. It's a dream come true to be here. It's so beautiful. The owners are just great, and yeah, so technically I guess you could say we've been off-grid 50 to 100% of the time for about probably 9 years now. 9 years. My absolute favorite is definitely going out on my sailboat. Being here is amazing. It's great. It's wonderful. I'm learning a lot. I've learned how to do so many things I didn't know how to do before. But I miss being on the water. That's definitely one of the best things about living on the West Coast is water sports. And for me, it's definitely sailing. Definitely sailing. Hopefully the weather clears up soon. I think here we haven't had temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius since the summer started. I know in Vancouver recently they had a really big heat wave, but here it didn't pass 15 degrees Celsius. So when the weather heats up, hopefully it does in a little bit, not too hot though, I'll be heading out again on my boat for day sails. My dog Buttercup, who is in the cabin right now, I don't have her out because yesterday there was a black bear here that would not leave. No matter how much I yelled at him, I blew my air horn at him, he just gave me a look and kept doing what he was doing. I couldn't get him to go. So today I've been splitting wood and doing a few other things, so I just left Buttercup inside because I just don't know if that bear's gonna show up. So I'm always like looking around, and I think I left my bell up with the side-by-side. Anyways, yeah, sailing it is for me. So we'll get out sailing for some day sails. I'll probably leave Buttercup here. She's just too old. She's 11. She's too old to be getting on and off that boat anymore. Which is kind of sad. But anyway, yeah, so sailing for me. biggest benefit is the peace and quiet and the solitude. It's not that I don't like being around people. I don't mind people. It's just I don't want to be around crowds of people all the time. I found living in Vancouver, you were constantly surrounded by people, and yeah, that's not for me. The peace and quiet and solitude out here is so comforting, and my stress levels, there's still stress of different things, like, running from bears and stuff like that. Just kidding, I don't really run from bears. There's still certain stresses that you deal with, but it's just different. It's just different. It's stresses that you can fix, and every day you have a sense of accomplishment, like you've you've accomplished living in this world, and it's incredible. To me, there's nothing like it. For me, that's the biggest benefit. It's really the peace and quiet. She'll come out. She's probably trying to sniff to see if there's any bears. Hi! Hello! I love you. How's my girl? Were you snoozing? Give us a kiss. Mm. You gonna sit with me for a bit? Buttercup is a Newfoundland Labrador. I got her when she was 8 weeks old, and we moved on to the boat when she was 2 years old. She just turned 11 years old in February, so she's pretty old for Newfoundland. So the opportunity to caretake here is actually great timing, because she was just getting a bit too old to be getting up and down off the boat. So yeah, now she's in a cabin on land. What do you say? Do you miss the boat, booger face? I love you. Yeah, she's an old girl. I love you. I love you. Yeah, so that's Buttercup. She spends a lot of time in the cabin, mostly because she's a bit afraid of the smells. Like, I can tell when a bear has been by, because Buttercup will stick her head out and sniff, sniff, sniff in the air, and she'll just turn around and go right back inside. So she's not interested in encountering bears, deer. She smells something that she's not familiar with, and she just won't come outside. But that's okay by me. That way she stays safe. If ever I'm on the property working and I can't keep an eye on Buttercup, without exception, she's inside the cabin. She's never wandering around by herself, mostly because she's a city dog. She's not a very street smart dog. She grew up in Vancouver and she had a life of luxury, really. So yeah, so I'm pretty protective of her. I don't put her in any situations where she could get herself into trouble. So what's with all these boats today, Buttercup? Holy cramoly. The whales must be out. Future holds for me here on this property, but someday I'd love to have my own little piece of land, ideally on a remote island. That's boat or airplane access only. That, you know, I can have a little tiny home and lots of solar power, a little garden, some chickens. Yeah, that's my future dream. Here, I'm not sure. I absolutely am not sure, even at all, a little bit, what's going to happen here. But for sure, I will be here this summer and next fall, winter, into spring. We'll see how everything goes. But long term, I'd love my own little remote piece of land. That's the dream.
I want to thank Amanda for allowing me to highlight her channel here today. And I thank you for watching. I'm sure Amanda would appreciate it if you would check out these links right here. And be sure to remember to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know what you think of the new format of Meet the YouTuber. Until next time, stay safe and take care.